Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're looking at something that is probably humming away right in your home this very second. We totally take our split air conditioners for granted, right? It's like this magic box on the wall that miraculously blasts cold air. But it's definitely not magic. Today, we're going to crack it open and figure out exactly how this fascinating system actually works.
Actually, let me ask you this. Do you actually know how your split AC makes your room cold? Most of us just assume it's, somehow generating cold air and pumping it inside. But it's actually the exact opposite. You literally can't make cold. What you're doing is evicting heat. Your AC is basically a heat removal machine. It's grabbing the thermal energy right out of your bedroom and chucking it outside.
So, here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at the anatomy of split ACs. Second, the continuous cooling cycle. Third, decoding the different air conditioner types. Fourth, technical specs and sizing. And finally, some handy maintenance and troubleshooting tips.
Okay, let's dive right into part 1, anatomy of split ACs. 2 halves, 1 goal.
It's super cool how perfectly this system divides the labor. So you've got the indoor unit, that's the sleek, quiet box on your wall. Inside, it's got an evaporator coil, an air filter, and a blower fan. Its one and only job, absorbing heat from your room. Then you have the outdoor unit. That's the big clunky metal box sitting out on your balcony or roof. It houses all the heavy lifters, the compressor, the condenser coil, and the condenser fan. Its job is to release all that absorbed heat outside. And how do these two completely separate halves actually communicate? Well, they're connected by this crucial lifeline of copper pipes, electrical cables, and a drain pipe. Literally, one absorbs, the other releases. It's a perfect partnership.
Moving right along to part 2, the continuous cooling cycle, the journey of heat.
Let's actually follow this heat as it takes its journey. Step 1. The indoor unit absorbs the heat from your room's air. Step 2. The refrigerant, and you can kind of think of the refrigerant as a relentless track runner, grabs that heat like a baton and sprints it through those copper pipes to the outside. Step 3. Out there, the compressor acts like a giant, powerful pump, really squeezing and compressing that refrigerant. Step 4. The condenser takes all that concentrated heat and just dumps it into the outside air. Step 5. Now that it's dropped off its heavy thermal load, the nice, cool refrigerant returns back inside. And finally, Step 6. The blower fan pushes air right over those now chilled coils, blasting that refreshing breeze into your room. And then, our little track runner grabs another baton. This whole cycle just repeats continuously, over and over, literally draining your room of heat.
All right, part 3, decoding air conditioner types, making the right choice. So, when you're shopping, the absolute most crucial difference to understand is the compressor. Take a non-inverter split AC. Its compressor runs at a totally fixed speed. It's either blasting at 100% capacity or it's completely 100% off. There's no in between. Now sure, that means a lower initial cost at the store, but you're going to pay for it with much higher electricity bills. But contrast that with an inverter split AC. This is where the magic happens. Its compressor speed changes automatically based on exactly what the room needs. It gently ramps up, ramps down, kind of like the accelerator pedal on a car. This automatic adjustment saves a ton of electricity, gives you way tighter temperature control, and operates so much more quietly. It's just a vastly smarter, more dynamic machine.
Now, we can't really talk about AC types without a quick nod to those old-school window units. Look, window ACs are bulky, they generate a lot of noise right there in the room with you, and honestly, they only offer moderate efficiency. Though, yeah, they do come with a much lower price tag. Split ACs, on the other hand, definitely require a higher initial investment. Plus, you got to get a professional to install them. But man, the trade-off is huge. You get incredibly quiet operation, way better cooling efficiency, and a much cleaner look inside your room, basically because you've banished the loud, vibrating compressor to the great outdoors.
So when we really look at all the advantages of split ACs, it's no wonder they totally dominate the market today. You've got that ultra-low noise, super effective cooling performance, and this really attractive, modern design that just sort of blends right into your wall. And because they're so energy efficient and give you such precise temperature control, they're incredibly versatile. We're not just talking about living rooms here. They are the absolute standard for busy offices, restaurants, and even ultra-sensitive temperature-critical spots like server rooms.
Which brings us to part 4, technical specs and sizing, decoding the jargon. Okay, let's decode some of this secret language you see on the boxes. First up is capacity, which is usually measured in BTUs, British thermal units, or tons. Now, when a salesperson asks if you need a 1-ton or a 2-ton unit, they are absolutely not talking about how much the physical box weighs. They're talking about pure cooling power. A 1-ton unit is perfect for a small room. Step up to a medium-sized room and you'll need 1.5 tons. Trying to cool a large open living space, you're definitely looking at a 2-ton machine.
It is all about perfectly matching the system's heat eviction power to the sheer volume of air sitting in your specific room.
Next, let's talk about the refrigerant. Remember our imaginary track runner carrying that baton of heat? That's your refrigerant. It is the vital, hard-working gas traveling back and forth, round and round through those copper pipes. The most common, highly efficient types you'll see popping up on spec sheets these days are R32 and R410A. All right, then we have EER, or IEER. This stands for Energy Efficiency Ratio. And listen, I want you to pay close attention to this one, because this metric matters directly to your wallet every single month. Simply put, the higher this value is on the sticker, the lower your monthly electricity consumption is going to be. Simple as that.
In fact, you can see exactly how this power consumption scales right along with the size of the unit. A 1-ton AC pulls roughly 900 to 1200 watts. Jump up to a 2-ton unit and wow, you are suddenly pulling up to 2500 watts. But keep in mind, these are just approximations. Your actual real-world electricity consumption relies heavily on a bunch of external factors, like how well insulated are your walls, how blisteringly hot is it outside today, and of course that inherent efficiency rating we just talked about.
But here's the catch. All those fancy specs mean absolutely nothing if the installation is botched. Because this is a split system, it absolutely requires professional installation. You need seriously strong wall support inside, a properly angled drainage line so water doesn't pull up and ruin your drywall, and exactly the correct sizing for those copper pipes. And honestly, just as importantly, that outdoor unit needs a super stable electrical supply and plenty of outdoor airflow. If you shove that outdoor unit into some tight, unventilated corner, it literally can't release the heat, and the entire continuous cooling cycle just breaks down.
All right, last section, Part 5, Maintenance and Troubleshooting, the Caretaker Guide. Let's run through some rapid-fire, really practical takeaways to keep your machine running perfectly. First off, you must clean those indoor air filters every 15 to 30 days. Seriously. Why? Because a clogged filter literally strangles the airflow, forcing the blower motor to work twice as hard, which directly spikes your electricity bill. Also, get the unit professionally serviced every 6 months to check for sneaky hidden refrigerant leaks and to really deep clean that outdoor condenser coil. If that outdoor coil is caked in dirt, it traps the heat instead of releasing it. These simple, tiny acts of caretaking directly translate to massive financial savings for you.
Now, if things do go wrong, you can actually decode your AC's warning signs yourself. Air not feeling as cold as it used to? You've likely got a gas leak or just a really, really dirty filter. Did you wake up to a puddle of water on your floor? Don't panic, it's almost always just a blocked drain pipe causing condensation to back up. Are your electricity bills suddenly sky high? Probably a choked, dirty condenser coil. Hearing a weird rattling noise? Look for loose parts or a struggling fan motor. And if the AC keeps tripping your breaker, you're definitely dealing with an electrical overload. By just understanding how this system actually works, you can quickly identify the culprit instead of just staring at the box in total frustration.
Which leads us to one final thought. The next time you grab that remote, turn on your split AC, and feel that amazing, refreshing blast of cold air hit your face, will you remember what's actually happening? Will you picture that continuous, relentless journey of heat eviction happening right there behind your wall, out those copper pipes and into the outdoor air? It is just a beautifully structured piece of everyday engineering. And now you know exactly how it works. Thanks so much for exploring this with me today. And hey, keep staying curious about the world around you.